Welcome to this video. In this lecture, we are going to look at creating tables in LaTeX. So we're going to create the table on the right-hand side. It's a very simple, straightforward table, but it's the basics that you need to know. Later on in the course, you will see that we do a step-by-step creation of a report, and that report contains a bit more complicated tables, if you will. But first, let's start with the basics. So on the left-hand side, if you look at the LaTeX markup, we're document class A4 paper 12 point, and we're still in the article environment. Then I begin my document, and when you want to type a table, you use the command \begin table. In the next line, I always like to label my table or figure immediately after opening it. I know in the previous lecture where we did a figure, I only labeled it later. It doesn't really matter, but I prefer labeling it immediately. Then it's done. So I give it a label, tab for table, :log, because this is a table that ranks different teams. And then I go \centering to get everything nice and in the middle of the page. Then I give it a caption, \caption, and the caption in this case, I'm just calling it team standings. On the right hand side, you can see how it comes out. For a table, the caption sits at the top of the table automatically in LaTeX. So you have table 1, team standings. Now I type \begin tabular. Now you can begin tabular X, but then you have to use a different package, and that's a different kind of more advanced table. For this, we're just going to say begin tabular. And then in the curly brackets after begin tabular are the specifications of how this table is going to look. You have L times 6, and then you have C, and you've got R. Now this is important because this sets the layout of our table. So the L times 6 means we have the first 6 columns left aligned. So team P, W, D, L, F, up until F is left aligned. Then we have one centered aligned column, that's with A. And then we have one right aligned column, that's our points column, that is right aligned. Now you can change this, and when you look at the output, see how it looks and see is it visually appealing, and then you can change the layout like that. Instead of typing L times 6 as we have it in this example, you can literally type 6 L's with spaces in between. It means you've got 6 columns left aligned. So we set up the columns when we type begin tabular. Then in a new line we say \H line. That gives us our first horizontal line. Now, there are different lines that you can use. You can use \top rule, bottom rule, mid rule will give you different thicknesses, but the most basic and sufficient in this case is \H line. So that is our first line of the table. Then after that, we are now going to populate our columns column by column. So to tab from one column to the next, you use the ampersand sign. So you will see there we have team, then I have an ampersand, it means I jump to the next column, then I have P. Now look at the output on the right hand side, you see there's the P. Then ampersand W, that would be in the next column on the right hand side, ampersand D, etc. Till the last heading of our table will be PTS for points. Then I want to go to my next row, so that's a new line in my LaTeX markup. And to do that, I need to type a double \. So I've got \/. Then in my new line, I want to create another horizontal line. So I type \H line. And now I can begin with, I've set up the title of my different columns in my table. Now I populate the table contents. So in the first column, second row, I want to write team 1. Look at the output on the right hand side, we have team 1. Ampersand means I tab to the next column. There I add 6. Ampersand 4, ampersand 0, etc. And when I want to go to the next line, the next row in my output, I do another double \, at the end of the line in the LaTeX markup. And I proceed in this way up until team 3, and I fill all the different columns in the last row, double backslash gives me a new line, and I want to end this table with a horizontal line, so I type backslash h line. I'm done. I type end tabular and then end table. So note that the label and the caption and also the centering of the global table, that is within begin table but not inside begin tabular. Begin tabular, that is more how we specify the layout of our table, and you can replace that with something like tabular X, or there are other tabular table packages as well. And then we also have end document. And if I save this and I quick build, or I run PDF LaTeX and view PDF, then I get the output on the right hand side. So this is how you would generally create a table. At the end of this course, we will look at different ways in our example of creating a table, but this for now is sufficient.